coming up tonight on Primetime Local News. We have an update on the triple homicide that took place in Lloyd. Also, a look at the weather forecast for February. Plus, our weekly edition of Retrospect.
Kind of live a day like we're in Quebec is really a learning experience for the kids.
Prime Time Local News, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Hi there and welcome to Primetime Local News. I'm Jackson Fontaine and thank you for joining me. An individual has been arrested and charged following last September's triple homicide. Arlene Hoffert has more on the investigation as well as the suspect.
The RCMP announced today that 31-year-old Nakota Rain Puyak was charged with 3 counts of second-degree murder on January 18th for the triple homicides which took place in Lloydminster on September 11th in a residence on the corner of 50th Street and 47th Avenue.
Today, we are here to announce that an individual has been arrested and charged with the murders of Brent, Matthew, and Brennan Peters. On January 18th, 2025, the Alberta RCMP Major Crimes Unit charged Nakota Rain Puyak, aged 31, of the North Battleford District, with 3 counts of second-degree murder. Mr. Puyak appeared this morning in Saskatchewan Provincial Court via video from the Saskatoon Correctional Centre and was remanded into custody.
Puyak has been in custody on other charges since September 16th. He was then arrested and charged on Saturday in the Saskatoon Correctional Centre for the murders.
Basically, on September 16th, so within 5 days of the incident happening, Mr. Puyak was taken into custody on unrelated matters, which alleviated any public safety concerns we had in relation to him at that time.
Mayor Gerald Albers hopes that with Puyak arrested as a suspect, that Lloydminster residents will feel safe. Mayor Albers wants community members to know that the incident was isolated and that Lloydminster is a safe place to live.
As we wait for the judicial process to unfold, we hope that the arrest brings some sense of resolution for those concerned about the community safety. The violent nature of the incident on September 11, 2024 was deeply shocking and unusual for our community. Understandably, many of our residents were left shaken. We remain a very strong and resilient community. This isolated incident does not define us, nor does it detract us from our belief that Lloydminster is a safe place to welcome and call home.
An adult male accomplice of Puyak was identified, but that individual is now deceased. The death was not crime-related, and the RCMP will not name the individual. Lane Hoffert, Primetime Local News.
The Rotary Club held their weekly meeting today at the Lloyd X with 2 special guests from Horizon Ag. Cam Kay and Robert Benning from Horizon Agriculture shared some information on Agland and Martin Deer Line merging that happened on July 31st, 2024, and how Horizon Agriculture and Turf came to be.
We were invited to come and present to the Rotary Club and to give our story as to why we did it. And part of the Rotary is obviously they're a local community organization, lots of business leaders in this group, with a curiosity as to how does this happen and what are the steps involved to make it happen.
The partnership was a big step for both businesses. Benning also shed some light on why they decided to take the next step forward with the merge.
And part of this was to increase inventories for parts, better serve our customers, better serve our staff, better serve our communities, and to better serve our suppliers.
Martin Deer Line and Agland teams had been close businesses for nearly 60 years before the merge and are excited for the future. The Olive Tree will be closed for renovations this week as upgrades are being made to improve services for the community. While the Olive Tree's doors are temporarily closed from Monday to Saturday, their doors remain open for donations, with supporters encouraged to continue their contributions.
It is a new year, so we're going to kind of take the time to freshen up our thrift store. So we're rearranging a few things, reorganizing a few things. We're going to be building a new change room and new kind of checkout area, and then just a big refresh in the store.
The Olive Tree's Community Meals program is also unaffected. Meals will continue as usual on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, with doors opening at 4:30.
So we took the time to just kind of do some fixes in the walls and repainting and all those things. And just to optimize kind of our space a little bit better. We've seen a lot of growth and changes and rearranging already. And so we just wanted to take the time to make sure our customers have the best experience, our volunteers have the space they need to come in and sort donations that our community gives, and just for our staff to operate.
The Olive Tree is expected to reopen next week, ready to resume its wide range of services for the community. It's time for This Week in Retrospect. Here's Brandon Riddell.
This week on Retrospect, we travel back to the year 2000, where people in Bonnyville partake in local festivities.
In the town of Bonnyville, today is about more than families getting together. It's a special time for the entire community to unite and celebrate their diversities. Every year, local organizations, including the Native Friendship Center and the Bonnyville FCSS, work together to host a day of activities that everyone, both young and old, can enjoy.
Well, today is basically a family-oriented event because it's on Family Day, and it's to get the whole community together and to celebrate Trappers Day, where we host a bunch of different activities, such as the nail pounding, sweet saw cutting, jigging, buckskin parade. There's about 14 events in all.
This year, the annual event took on a cultural theme, one that embraces both the Métis and French cultures. Indoors, there were several activities to keep children busy and a great deal of entertainment, but outside is where the competition was in full swing. This event would not be possible without several dedicated volunteers, and among them is a special group comprised of 11 youths from across Canada, the Kativa Mix. They're a volunteer youth corps who in the next 7 months will be traveling around the nation, volunteering in different communities. And by the time they're complete their journey, they're hoping to return home with a few valuable lessons.
Definitely, second language improvement. For me, that'd be French. For others, that'll be English. A lot of life skills, I think. Definitely some work skills, but more so, the social interaction, being committed to a community that you don't know. Things like that. Definitely some social improvements.
Trapper Day activities are expected to carry on well into the evening. And by the time the King and Queen Trappers are crowned, it will also be another memorable year for many local families and the community. In Bonnyville, Rochelle Chandria, NewsHour.
We jump forward to 2006, where a school is teaching kids about a French-Canadian tradition, the Carnaval de Quebec.
Taking the classroom outside helped teachers at this school explain the significance of a renowned French-Canadian tradition.
We wanted to celebrate French and French culture and promote French within the school. So we're modeling our carnival after the Carnaval de Québec, which is happening right now in Quebec City.
The school's mini carnival combined a month-long of learning with a day full of activities similar to those celebrated in Quebec.
Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. We have sluice skiing, which is a 2x4, and we've got ropes on. The kids then have to ski in teams. There's 4 of them on each one, and they're racing. Snowshoes, we have snow art. Since we don't have enough snow for sculpturing, they put colored water on the snow and make pictures. They're making mini ice palaces and, of course, our wagon rides.
We've learned that there's lots of activities that they do in the carnival, and there's many things they do, like they do all the events.
We're making sculptures, but they're already finished, but we're adding to them.
Just to experience the fun and how, it's tough to walk in snowshoes.
It's probably really fun and exciting.
Another custom everyone seemed happy to sample was this maple syrup treat, popular at Quebec City sugar shacks. And of course, in true French fashion, a carnival wouldn't be complete without the infamous mascot, known fondly as Bonhomme.
Just to experience the French culture out here today and To kind of live a day like we're in Quebec is really a learning experience for the kids.
After giving kids a taste of what the real Carnaval de Quebec might be like, teachers want their students to remember the lesson behind all the fun.
I think it's important that everybody learns about cultures other than their own and broadens their worldview. And we want French to be fun at school and to promote a lifelong learning of French.
And it seems they'll not easily forget the experience. Julie Boyer, New Cap News.
And that's all for Retrospect.
Retrospect is brought to you by Webb's Machinery. Find New Holland products at Webb's Machinery, your dealer in Vermilion, Vegreville, Lamont, Wainwright, St. Paul, and Consulate.
Now joined here with our Lane Hoffert. So Lane, the weekend, man, what was up with that weather?
It was quite cold. We had that extreme cold warning. Thankfully, the warning did end today, and yeah, we're looking to have a nice week ahead, you know. But yeah, for now, it's still kind of cool, but not those extreme temperatures like we saw over the weekend. You didn't want to be outside too long, otherwise you would definitely feel the impact there. But yeah, that cold weather warning has died down, and now we're headed into a nice week ahead. Taking a look right now, you can see still quite chilly in Lloydminster. That wind blowing at 22 kilometers an hour, minus 21 right now, and that snow is falling. We'll have a consistent dose of snow until Wednesday. It's going to be snowy, though it will warm up as we progress throughout the week. That wind chill making it feel like minus 32, so still cold even though that extreme cold warning is gone. You can see around the region, Cold Lake and Bonnyville both minus 18, Marwayne and Provost minus 19, Vermilion minus 17, Lac La Biche and Vegreville minus 14, St. Paul and Wainwright minus 15, and Edmonton minus 10. Taking a look over in Saskatchewan, Isle Cross and St. Walburg, as well as Maidstone there, are all at minus 20, Macklin at minus 22, Pierceland, Green Lake, and Meadow Lake at minus 18, and North Battleford is at minus 21. Tonight in North Battleford, it's going to go down 1 degree to minus 22. Cloudy with rising temperatures, so much like here, it is going to be getting warmer. 15 kilometer an hour winds, so sure to feel chillier than minus 22, and cloudy night, maybe not the clearest skies. Now tomorrow, North Battleford, minus 3, so definitely an improvement. Windy with snow and flurries at times, but that snow will not accumulate. That wind will still be blowing strong, though, at 32 kilometers an hour, so a cloudy, windy, snowy day, yet warm in North Battleford. Now tonight in Cold Lake, it will be cloudy, not quite as cold as it is here at North Battleford. That wind blowing at 15 kilometers an hour, so sure to feel colder than minus 17, but still not quite as chilly of a night in Cold Lake as it is in other parts of the region. Now tomorrow in Cold Lake, quite a nice day, minus 2 as that high, breezy in the morning, and otherwise some times of cloud and sun. A little bit of wind, but still not as much as North Battleford, so Cold Lake maybe seems like the place to be tomorrow. If you're there, you will be enjoying a nice day with not as much snow as you'd get North Battleford. Now tonight in Lloydminster, cloudy and windier, but it will actually be warmer at minus 18. Still, that wind blowing strong will make it feel cooler, but we're at the light at the end of the tunnel here for now. Now taking a look at tomorrow's forecast at 6 a.m., cloudy and minus 4. Going to warm up 1 degree at noon, mostly cloudy, and then cloudy once again, minus 4 at 6 p.m., and cloudy and minus 6 at midnight. You can see a windy day tomorrow. Now taking a look at the 3-day forecast. Tomorrow, very windy and mostly cloudy at minus 2 with the high. Wednesday, strong wind, 65% chance, and minus 5 is the high. Thursday will be 0, and that is the first look at your evening weather. We'll be back with more after the break.
It was an exciting weekend for all of the Lakeland Wrestlers sports teams, with some teams starting their regular season back up after the break, and 2 regional events. Our Thomas Wildman has a wrap on the Wrestlers weekend.
It was a full weekend for all of the Lakeland Wrestlers teams. Starting with the court sports, the women's and men's volleyball teams, as well as the men's basketball team, had a 2-game series against the Concordia Thunder, and all 3 teams won both of their games to start off 2025. In hockey, the women's team hosted the Medicine Hat College Rattlers and won 8-0. The start of the futsal season took place at Portage College, and the men's team had an excellent start to the season, going 4-1 and sitting atop the ACAC North standings. The women's team also had a solid tournament, going 3-2 and sit third in the ACAC North standings. The Winter Regional for curling was the last chance to qualify for the ACAC Championships in February. The men's team only went 1-3, but due to their good performance in the fall, they were able to hold on to a qualifying spot. The mixed team performed exactly the same as they did in the fall regional, going 2-2, helping them secure a playoff berth as well. Finally, the women's team improved from the winter regional, going 2-3, which had them tied for the final playoff spot in the women's standings. They had to do a tiebreaker with U of A Augustana and won the tiebreaker game 10-1, booking their spot into the championships as well, which will start on February 7th. Thomas Wildman, Primetime. Local news.
After a weekend of extreme cold conditions, temperatures in Lloyd are going to get warmer. Abby St. John has more on what to expect for the next couple of weeks.
I'm very happy to be joined here once again by Peter Quinlan, meteorologist for Global News Saskatoon. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Abby.
Of course, now, over the weekend, unfortunately, we were here in Lloyd under an extreme cold warning. We are today, for most of today as well. And now heading into this week, we're going to be in lower temperatures. And we did talk a couple weeks ago, this is to be expected, the kind of yo-yo effect you were explaining. But similarly to last year, we experienced the polar vortex. And I think that's something that's on everybody's mind right now. Is that something we're going to be experiencing this year heading into February?
So the polar vortex is the Arctic air that's usually over the North Pole, and sometimes it likes to slump south in the winter time and bring in these Arctic conditions. And we're on the edge of it over these past few days. It looks like it's going to move back up or to the east first and then up into the Arctic. So we have kind of experienced the edge of it, and then there is a chance we could experience it again, probably not till February. It does look like we will see a little bit of a warm up in the interim, but really in the winter months, even through till March and April, we're always kind of vulnerable to the polar vortex.
And going forward, like I said, the extreme cold warning is going to go away as we are heading into warmer temperatures this week. Is that really what we are to expect for the rest of the winter? We'll get to the polar vortex and then we'll go down and then up and down. What is to be expected, especially in the next few weeks?
So it does look like we are going to continue to see this yo-yo effect, although that yo-yo will be kind of a little bit higher. So warmer temperatures expected, at least for the rest of this week. We'll be seeing those minus single-digit daytime highs. We might see the occasional daytime high dip into minus double digits, which is actually average for this time of year in Lloydminster, is around minus 11 or so. So we are going to see that trend probably even into the following week, where we see those mild conditions stick around. There is some long-range computer models that are showing a dip at the end of next week into the cold again, and potentially into early February. So we will be watching for that. That could bring back the minus 30 temperature, minus 40 wind chill kind of scenario, but that is still a ways away, and a lot can change between now and then.
So for right now, it's good news. We're heading into those warmer-ish temperatures. Those single digits is definitely something that I like to see. Now, snowfall on the flip side, we've experienced a few pretty big snowfalls over the last, few days or a couple weeks here and there. And I see that we should be expecting some snowfall coming up as well. So what in terms of snowfall are we looking at centimeter wise, or will it stick around? What type of snow are we looking at?
So generally, we're looking at probably through the rest of this week, well, at least until the end of the day, Thursday, maybe 2 to 4 centimeters. So these little snowfall bouts aren't overly significant in terms of the overall grand total this winter. And then beyond that, it looks like we could head into a bit of a drier trend into next week. So at this point, we don't have any major snowfalls forecast. We will just see some steadier flurries, we'll call them, through the day on Wednesday and Thursday, and maybe even a few on Tuesday.
Wonderful. That's not the worst news I was expecting. It is nice having those warmer temperatures, as I definitely personally don't like being in any kind of frigid temperature. So the extreme cold warnings I have been trying to ignore because they haven't been fun. But it's nice that we are looking to warmer temperatures this coming weekend into next week. So thank you once again for joining me. You always give the great insight into what we are to expect, especially in the winter. So thank you again for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Abby.
Coming up after the break, we will have an extended look at the weather.
Welcome back. Let's take a second look at your evening weather. You can see right now in Lloydminster, we got a little bit of snowfall. Right now it's -19 with that 32-kilometer-an-hour wind, making it feel like -32 out there. A lot of 32s, lucky number, I guess, for today, maybe unlucky number. That extreme cold warning has died down, but the extreme cold weather still seems to be persisting a little bit. Now, taking a look around the region, you can see it's relatively nice elsewhere. In Cold Lake, -18, so about the same. Athabasca and Red Deer, -13. Edmonton, -10. Rocky Mountain House, -12. Whitecourt, -9. Edson, -2. And Jasper, -7. Meadow Lake is -17. Prince Albert, -26. Melfort, -28. North Battleford, -21. And Saskatoon, -24. So definitely cooler as we move eastward, as well as up north. Uranium City, -20. Stony Rapids, -25. Wollaston Lake, -22. South End, Reindeer, -23. Flin Flon, -26. And La Loche and Buffalo Narrows are both -17. Fort Chipewyan is -15. High Level, -16. Peace River, -6. Fort McMurray, -9. Slave Lake, -15. And Grand Prairie at 0. Moving down south, Coronation is at -21. Calgary at -5. Banff at -9. Lethbridge at -3. And Medicine Hat at -11. And Saskatchewan once again is much cooler than Alberta. Kindersley, -23. Yorkton, -28. Swift Current, -21. Moose Jaw, -24. Regina, -29. And Estevan, -27. Now let's take a look at your overnight travel forecast. In Meadow Lake and Isle La Crosse tonight, it's going to be -19. Bonnyville, -16. Provost, -15. And Paradise Hill, -22. You can see clouds will be covering the region, and it will be particularly windy in Provost at 28 kilometers an hour. Now taking a look at some more overnight temperatures throughout the region. In Murnum, it's going to be -14. Pierceland, -18. Unity, -20. Wainwright, -15. And Calgary, the warmest of the bunch, at -3. It's going to be quite windy in Unity and Wainwright. Unity at 24 kilometers an hour and Wainwright at 28. Now let's take a look at your 7-day forecast. You can see we have a warmer week ahead. Tomorrow is going to be quite a windy day at -2 as the high there. And then those winds will kind of die off after Wednesday, and we will be left with some nice days ahead. It's looking to be good, especially for January. We had the cold weekend, and now back to that warm weather.
Yeah, for sure. It seems like around the region, like it's kind of varies. Some places are cold, some are really warm. But it looks like here in Lloydminster is going to get warmer, so that's good to see.
That's right.
Awesome. Well, that is all the time we have today for Primetime Local News. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.